Thank you very much, brothers and sisters. I am very honored and I'm delighted to be here today with you in this great city of London. I will want to make my point on few. I'm going to focus on three things, and I want each one of you to really listen that very carefully to those three things. First of all, I would want to start each one of you to ask this question, two questions. Number one, what is Ethiopia? Number two, what is it to be Ethiopian? As you think about it, what it is Ethiopia to me, it is a country in a map. And to be an Ethiopian is someone who's born there, grew up in Ethiopia. Because of that, that is just simple as that. Because of that, I'm Ethiopian, I am Inate Malata. So because of that, we don't need explanation. That's why I say that right now, you look at me, you see a bald head guy with mustache and white teeth, and it is Ethiopian, and he's proud to be an Ethiopian. Thank you. My speech, I'm going to summarize it, and then for those of you who wanted to read it, I wrote it and you will find it on the website. I will put it on the website as soon as we go from here. You can find it on the ANUAC Justice, ANAUK Justice Council, one word, www.anuacjusticecouncil.org. You will find that statement there, and I encourage you there to go and read that. So first of all, I wanted to say to each one of you, thank you for being here. And then also that thanks for inviting me to come here and talk about the human rights abuse that's going back home to our people. And then especially thanks for Ms. Anna Goming for being here with us. And for being here, we have said that you are a sister and we love you unconditionally. And the reason why I say that is because you stood up for the truth. You put the truth before the diplomatic. And there are some observers who went and put the diplomacy before the truth, and that's why now there's a deception that molesters continue to carry on. It is that deception that the Western country is standing still while our people have been killed. It is that deception that molesters have been called the new breed of Africa when they are really the old breed of Africa. It is that deception that, Tony Blair still have him as the Commissioner of Africa, and we should be ashamed of that. It is that deception that our leaders are still locked up in prison, and there's 5 concentration camps in Ethiopia. It is that deception that, today that some of the people who children never seen their fathers and mothers who are being in jail. But I'm wanting to tell you, brother and sister, before I get to hand that. Right now, all of you, we know that we can do it. Let us not fear anybody but God. And we will be free, and there will be a day we will sit down back home as Ethiopian and sit and drink the coffee as one people. The coffee cup with no color on it. Okay, we get set. Because this is one thing that I want each one of you to know. In Ethiopian cultures, it is being known by coffee. That's where coffee is founded. And it's very rich. And if you go in every part of the world today, people know about the coffee. People know about the coffee because the coffee that we drink in circle. And when we drink coffee, we, all of us, men, all women, sit together. And people who are lighter skin and darker skin sit together. Women sit together. The coffee cup doesn't have a color on it. It's all the same. The coffee cup is not written Oromo, Amara, Anuak, Tigray. All of these are not there. Our coffee is what united us. We talk about it together, but this government is taking that coffee away from us. And we should not allow it, and we know it, and let us know that we will reclaim our coffee back and be the beautiful Ethiopian that we are. And so, the reason why I'm here to talk about human rights, this human rights abuse that took place in Gambela in 2003 on December. People were killed in the car. Car was ambushed, 9 people died in the car. We really don't know who ambushed them. but the government defense force who were there went and brought the mutilated body to Gambela town and sighted them. And again, they did it as a color issue, islanders versus lowlander, the dark people, and then the lighter people. From that day on, the Ethiopian Defense Force, they went from home to home, singling in our men and killing the Anuak. 424 Anuak men were killed. And that was happening in almost 3 years ago. And now we start, it's been documented, and now we start to know that it is a government plan. It had a code name. It's called Operation Sunny Mountain, because the Chinese company is there, and the Chinese company wanted to dig the oil, the people in the region registered, and the government intention was to eliminate these people so they can go ahead and do it. So that is what happened, and that was 2003. Then the killing took place in Addis. In June, again, the killing took place again in Addis in Omongo. And the point I'm wanting to make is, this has been the routine of this government. They have been killing our people since they come to the power. But now, the blood of the Ethiopian, regardless what ethnic they come from, it is making a noise, and that noise is going to liberate us. And I am wanting to tell each one of you, we need each other. One hand cannot clap, two will make noise. Together, we can get rid of this regime. I'm not talking about, I don't belong to any political party. I'm not a politician. My dream is to go back home and work with the local people, even if I become governor, that's what I want. But now, I cannot go back there and be a farmer when there's no instability in the country. And that's where I am coming on now, and I wanted to talk to this point, to you guys. We who are in this part of the world, we come here because there's no stability back home. We are in this part of the world because there's no peace back home. And last year was the year that our people decided that. Most of you can remember, it was one woman in America who refused to give the seat to a one white man that changed the civil rights movement. And I want each one of you to know that last year was the year the Ethiopian woman refused to give the seat to the corruption. And the journey is not yet over. The journey is not yet over. There are some countries who are now supporting, well, let's say, based on war on terror. I went to the US government to testify, and I told them that Malaysia is terrorizing its own people. You cannot support a guy who's terrorizing its own people. And that is the message that we need to do. We need to do more than this. First of all, we have to be united as one. Because they're saying in the Bible that people who have no vision will perish. There's a division right now in back home, regardless we like it or not. People are being divided based on ethnic, based on color, based on religion. We are much better than that. I want you to know that when you go home today, to keep this in mind, you are the international community. You don't have to wait for Tony Blair to come and free us. We don't have to wait for Americans. Like if we want an American, imagine this. If you call a Chinese guy to cook a doro what I thought of it. It will never be the same doro what, because that guy will not even know what he chose. We should not underestimate ourselves. By saying that underestimating ourselves, that most of us who are back home, we know that a little boy can carry a cow, big cow, with the rope tied in the horn, and the cow will follow the kid, thinking that the kid is very heavy. But the cow does not know that they can move at any minute and they will take that kid away. Let us not be that cow. Second, there's one say that in Iowa, and all of you know that in African proverb, if you are in the bush and you disappear, first of all, stop and look where you come from before you find. Right now, we need a direction. We need a direction to go to that place. Like Ms. Anna Gomez said earlier, we need to do more than what we are doing. But how to do that? Again, I will come back to you. I am talking to each one of you. like my family member. Let us disagree, but let us not disown each other. If this hand I have a wound on it, I cannot carry it out because it's part of me. I have to sustain it. If you disagree with other people, work with them because they are your family. We need to tell our political leaders that at just a time, it is time, about time that keep your political platform, pick up the good things within it, and let's sit together and start talking because of this, we will continue to be where we are. Look, for example, us who are in this country, we are more people who are educated than back home. People who are back home are sacrificing every day, every day. And these are the things that we also need to know. When I came here, I was invited, even when I was invited with you to talk about the Anyuak. The Anyuak issue, to me, if I talk about the death of the Anyuak, what about the death of people who died in the Tigray region? I cannot pick and choose who I should cry for. I should cry for all Ethiopians as one. Until I feel the pain of Oromo, like my own pain. Until I feel the pain of the Tigray, like my own pain. Until I feel the pain of Amara, like my own pain. All of us should be united as one, and when one person dies, all of us should go and cry for that as one family. And I am very sure we can do it. Because of this government teaching us to have a hatred toward each other, there's one thing that I can say, an example in Anyuak. There's two men who went to cut wood in the wood. When they got to the wood, Magaraja, the guy had the axe. The man had axe on his head. He was looking, where's my axe? His friend said, you have it. The point I'm wanting to make is that each one of us, we have the axe, and we don't realize that. It is just right here. We have it within ourselves. We should not be waiting for somebody else to do it for us. It is our problem. It is in our home. Yes, there are some issues back home where people will be able to say that, people from Gambia are for many years been marginalized. We cannot deal with that issue right now. These are minor. We should be dealing with the death of people and stopping the death that's going on in our home country. The people from Gambia, anyone, they are 100% Ethiopian. And because of that, all of us need each other more than anything else. Because this is the government has been playing, the EPDR, for the last 17 years. They are building foundation on hatred. On hatred that Amara don't drink coffee anymore with Amara. Oromo don't drink with Oromo. Even within the Tigray, the pro-government and those who are not supporting government is not. And we know this. And I want you to remind you that one ethnic, two Ethiopian is better than one. Million Ethiopian. It is by using together that making Ethiopia. We need to keep this in mind. One flower is not beautiful like many flowers in a garden. For example, if there are 10 Malata here, the same like pink, it will not look that way. And then what I mean that we need to realize that and divide the resources that we have. All of us cannot be leaders. Some of us have to be servants. Like this, in the lowland in Gambela, where I grew up. Usually during the rainy season, it will flood. And the little hand, if they see the little twig, they climb on that twig because there's water. And then because tiny hands become so many and accumulated, they become heavy. Finally, they fall in the water that they run from. And if we want to climb, that be all of us to be a leader. Who are we going to lead? We will be again like that. So the point I'm going to make is this. Today in Ethiopia, we have been taking almost 40 years back. The education system in Ethiopia, it is not good at all. You go up to grade 10 only. And those people who don't make it to grade 10, they are the majority. And they are in Addis. Today in Addis, 80% of the population don't have a job. No wonder when they were the one that went to the street and protest. And when our Prime Minister was asking on BBC, he said that the people who were killed was not 26. It was not 36, it was 26. And first of all, they are Bosnian. Like the Bosnian have no life, like the Bosnian have no mom, no father, like his own children. And this is the thing that we need to keep in mind. This regime has committed so many atrocities. And we now cannot focus like that. What I am focusing on, we cannot bring back the 424 who were killed. Those who were in Addis who were killed. Those who were killed in Awasa in July 2002. We cannot bring them back. But the thing is that let us work together to make sure that this kind of thing will not happen again in Ethiopia that we are in. And to do that, it starts from each one of you. I wanted you to know that every one of you in this room, there's no any other human being like you. You are like a thread on the cloth. If I take a thread here, it will never be the same even though it's invisible. And also we need to remind ourselves that we are in this world. And we don't know what tomorrow will be. I don't know if I will be here tomorrow. But don't live your life for the right moment. The moment you are in now is the right moment. The atrocities are going back home. It is all of us responsibility. I am really very, very honored and very proud of the Ethiopian community in diaspora. After the last year, people have been protesting every year, every month, in every bigger city. And that momentum should continue. And it should continue, this is what I'm going to say to you. And also to our politician leaders. Right now, last year, it is like the year that people climb in canoe, Zalpa. Canoe, the hand of canoe, if you sit into it, you cannot fight in it. Right now, I want to remind you that all of us are climbed in the canoe. And now we are in the middle of the river. And our leaders now are fighting. Instead of fighting together to go to, and we can see the other side of the river. We can see the river bank now, where freedom and peace and prosperity is. But now we are fighting. The more we fight, the canoe is going to fall. And when the canoe falls in the river, Wayani are waiting to eat us, they are crocodile. I want you to know this. Because there now, we are in the middle of the river, as I'm saying, but there's crocodile in that river. Imagine, picture that. I don't know, that river may be Abai, maybe Bala, I don't know. But keep in mind that the crocodile are there waiting for us. Let us not pass first to our children. Because if we do, we will be known by our wonderful children as people that who are divided and allow this case to go on. Let us instead focus and look at the other side. I can say to you, somebody asked me when I was talking to Ethiopian in Atlanta, our people in Atlanta a couple days ago. Now, you are talking, the Ethiopian government, soon they are going to come after you. I told him that I am not afraid. Because when you are afraid, you will not do the thing right. Like if you are afraid, you will cause an accident. Because even if they come, the people who have their take life, I know my life is no more than their life. And this is the message that I want to get to you guys. We need a unity among ourselves. I want each one of you, when you go from this room today, to really go home and ask yourself, do I want Ethiopia to be the same Ethiopia that when I was born? And if the answer is no, start doing something. Do something as simple as boiling a coffee. Invite the guy you don't usually talk to. Because when you're now, they are talking romantically to the American, to the Western, and they are very good on it. They remind me of a young guy who will tell a woman that, oh, you're so beautiful, just because they want to be with her. And we should know that. And a woman mentioned that we know their game, we know the card that they are playing.
Like right now, we know very well. The main problem now is, to us, we have, and this is what I see. We can talk about this problem over and over and over. What can we do? What's the solution? That is the question. Are we going to be talking about this even another year from now on? I hope not. I think it's about time. Our political leaders put their heart together and work together and find a solution. Because like what APR did in Gambia was to kill the educated people. They say in Africa, you run at the head of the snake, the rest of the neck is useless. And then what they did, that they took out the leaders who are here today on the world. And since then, we become like the goats that doesn't somebody to guide them home. We are spending lots of time fighting among ourselves when our enemy is dead, eating us alive. I want to remind you that we are the tumors eating us alive, and each and every day. But what can we do about it? This is my own opinion. I am saying it as just an individual. I think in Ethiopian culture, when somebody died, most of you know, we set a tent. We call all the neighbors. There's no VIP. Everyone come into the tent. In that tent, we talk about the person that we lost. We talk about the future of the children of that person who died. Since this tragedy has been going on, we have never mourned for those who died. Maybe it's about time our leaders, our community, call something like National Reconciliation Conference, where we will be able to invite each ethnic groups who are working in defending the right of the Ethiopian. And let us meet in a hall like this. And political leaders will be invited, and when they come, they don't bring their political platform. They just come for the betterment of Ethiopia. What can we do to save ourselves? Once they do that, we all will get under the tent. And that tent, we will mourn about those who died. Those in Gambia like Awasa in Addis. In that tent, we come up with a strategy of what we need to do. I asked the Ethiopian community in Washington, in Dallas, in Atlanta. For example, right now, if we have somebody saying that in the media will say that we want someone to talk about Ethiopia on behalf of Ethiopia, we have no one. Nobody mentioned one person. And we cannot live like that. We cannot live like that. And therefore I said that we should not wait for somebody else to do it. I will use the example again as a Dorowa. If you cook a food, let's not wait around for somebody else to cook the food for us. If you are not the one killing the chicken, be the one to unpair the chicken. If not, be the one to wash the chicken. If not, be the one to cut onion. If not, be the one to make onion. Together we get that chicken and we eat it and we pass it on to our Ethiopian generation for many, many years to come. Maybe, I am saying this that, why? We should ask ourselves. We are being known as Ethiopian place where there's skinny people and there's no food for children. This is happening because of our leaders. We have a fertile land. But again, our own government is using our dying children to get the money from foreign ahead. Maybe about time the kingdom of heaven come to Ethiopia and Africa. We need to decolonize Africa from our African leaders. They went to the bush and wanted to say that they want to bring the freedom. But they come from the bush to mention, and they are using the gun that they use in the bush against our own people. And we cannot tolerate that. We can do it. South Africa was liberated by people being active abroad. And it can be done in Ethiopia. Like if we do that under this stance, we have options. This is the way I look at it. In this North America where we live in, even in Europe, the government have the right to go and take the children away from the parent if the parent abuse the children. Now, I think we can do the same thing in Ethiopia. I call our Prime Minister that he is a man who has a moral. He can right now give what Ethiopians have asked for. And he will be known, and we will forget. And if he cannot do that, we need to set up a tent. Within that tent, we will have to make the decision, because the government is killing our children. We have to go and take our children away from him. How do we do that? We can do it as going as radical as declaring a government in exile. That is a government in exile. And that government should be run by the council. And this government should be talking with this donor country. The EU would say that the Ethiopian government, democracy in Ethiopia, and you say the democracy, you should not preach about democracy, and when the Ethiopian give it away, you don't support it, like the American are doing. Justice is justice. So we should do that, and having a government, like establish a government that until Wayane there will be a midterm. A big run for 6 months, after 6 months is done, and all of the people will go, and political party will go on and have an election, and fair election. Because we have to be able to be vigilant and open-minded, and instead of waiting around for an unknown. Because the minute we wait, every day we do, we are giving away more and more strategy for them to plan. And I will make it again to you, brothers and sisters. Every time you divide it with another man, with another woman, and then you created another institution, you are giving away another Madosha to knock you in the head every night. Every time you are divided, again you are giving away another window of opportunity to come in. It did not take them just overnight. It took them 14 years to build up Ipswich that we have today. It cannot be eradicated right away. It will take time. Let us be patient. Let us criticize those who are working. But again, let us not abandon them. Let us stand with them and support them. Because what we need now, not only in Ethiopia, in Africa, we need a leader like our mothers. Most of you know that our mothers back home, even when she doesn't have food, if there's a little small injera, she will give it to the children, and then she sleep without food. But our government in Africa, they will eat the injera by themselves. And why do you look for more when the kids are crying? The leader we need in Africa, a leader that who are like a daycare workers. Most of you who are here, you have children. If your children go to the daycare worker makes sure that each and every child are being looked at equally. And when they go to the field, that person makes sure that the last person to climb on the bus, every child go in the bus, to make sure no one is left behind. Their leaders cannot come easy. It will require determination, it requires sacrifice, like some of these people did. They will live in this Western world, taking 3 showers a day, rather than being in prison where they are today. Maybe about time we ask ourselves, we should be working and planning ahead. If you think about it in the UK where we live in, there's lots of underground railroad, subway. Somebody planned a long, long time ago. Why are we not planning a future for the future generations? You go somewhere that's over 5 bridges, because people plan it. But in Africa, we don't have people planning this. In Africa, we look at the problem as somebody else can do. Every one of you who came to this room today, you wake up in the morning. You like it or not, each and every day. You wake up, you wash your face, and those people, those who have a hair, their hair look very good, and then we go out. There's no one like that in our country, in our continent. We have people that who are there like puppets. from this multi-corporation company who come in and leach out the blood if they don't want the people. I'm telling you that each one of us come to this world and we don't know the purpose we are here. And we live our life, we like it or not, for the future. That's why we set up a bank account or saving account. We should do that for our people. We should do that for our children. But first of all, what Ethiopia needs is transformation, spiritual transformation, value transformation, moral transformation. We have to love ourselves and love our family, love our wives unconditionally, because those are the people that we want to spend our life with, and then love our community and our country. Anything you do, Ethiopia first. I want you to ask to do this. Every time, think about if somebody asks you, where are you from? You don't say that I'm Anuak or I'm Oromo. You say you're from Ethiopia. We like it or not, that's exactly what it is. When somebody asks you, where are you from? You don't look for your ethnic. I don't remember the last time I said I'm Anuak or to anyone, unless that someone that was close. Why are we being like this? Even in America, there's some people now that who don't really know about Ethiopia. And the white guy that go in the taxi, they ask them, are you a Mara or Oromo? We don't ask you, did you come from Irish or you come from Scholar? Why? Because our people, this division that the government has created us went away. And it really went so deeply. And about time that we stop it. And how do we stop it? We start from ourselves. We need to communicate with each other. If I have a pain, if I don't tell you, you will know. You have to make sure that in this world, who you know is much more important than what you know. So the life you have in yourself is your whole life. And I want you to handle this with me. This is what I want to say to you. Our people are being killed back home by our own government. They are planning it, they are doing it. But how should we stop it? How do we stop it? It starts by us. We have to reach out to one another and work with one another and respect one another and love one another until we have an Ethiopia that work together. This government will not be easy to follow. And if we fight together, like we are in that river I was telling you, Zamba will give and all of us will fall. But I wanted you to say this to you. You are the international community. Don't wait for somebody else to do it. I will repeat it. Chinese or what, Abacha or what. It will never be the same. And again, I want you to be that, be like the star that shine over Ethiopia. And together, we can make a difference. Love yourself, love yourself.